Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a whole new Ready to Love Season 4 Episode 11, Unfinished Business. Child, let me tell y'all something. Honey, I'm going to have to give me a text number, child. The text number going to be up for next Friday because we need to text each other during this show so we can get into it as they get into it. But you know what, Kyra? Honey, you played yourself. I got a little something for you. Though it took you some time when Jason made you his number two. Oh, you ain't ready to love. Girl, playing in everybody's faces all night long, honey, trying to make Liz feel some type of way. Child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. And please do not hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. Child, let's go. So when the episode first opens up, you know we see Kyra and AJ. They're still holding hands because it was a cliffhanger last episode where we thought Kyra was really leaving, but then we see that she wasn't because AJ couldn't make up his mind the same way that she couldn't make up her mind. Okay, so now she's still here. So Kyra said, when he chose me, I just wanted to kiss him because he changed his mind. Girl, okay. So then he said, it was bittersweet because, I changed my mind. So that means that Alexis's time was ending. Well, let me tell you something, Alexis. Now, I have given you a hard time for 11 weeks now. You, your wig, your fashions, your city trends, agenda, all that, okay? But at the same time, honey, when I tell you you exited in grace, okay, I wasn't expecting it because I was expecting you to choose violence because that's what I would have done. But you did the right thing, honey. So Alexis comes to meet AJ by the pool, right? And she said, I'm getting kind of nervous. I'm thinking he finna say something. He finna talk to me nice, but we're about to see what he's about to say, right? So she was like, I'm nervous. He said, why are you nervous? She said, I'm about to cry. He said, no, don't cry. So then this was my thing. Girl, don't tell him you're about to cry. You better not cry. Honey, you better hit him with a Mary J. No, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. Never gonna shed a tear, no. Girl, don't be crying over no AJ. Child, ain't nobody worried about him, honey. Pack your bags and go home and get yourself a good selection of wigs. So Alexis said, look, I just knew he was about to choose me because, he was smiling, caressing my hands and whatnot. So I'm thinking he about to choose me, right? He says, listen, I don't know if I can be truly what it is that you see. Nah, just say it was Kyra for you, honey. Just go ahead and say that. Child, and just say, listen, it was Kyra for me, and I almost let my ego let me eliminate her, but I played backsies, so it's your turn to go. Okay, don't come around back around here no more. Just tell her what it is. Sit up here trying to make a whole long speech, honey. And he was like, so Alexis says in her confessional, I feel like I just got backstabbed because I chose you. I chose you. Well, fly, it's a game, honey. And quite frankly, I feel like AJ was never really team Alexis. He was team I don't want to go home before everybody else. Same as his adversary, who he now thinks will be his girl, who really ain't his girl because she wants somebody else's man. But honey, we'll get into that as we get into it. But at the end of the day, he decided that he was going to stick beside Kyra, honey. So we'll see you buzzing around the reunion. So then she said, I'm ready, just not with you. Because, AJ done told her she's not ready to love. And it really trips me out on that part because I'm trying to figure out how you going to tell me I'm not ready to love. Where do you know me from? Honey, I went on a few dates with you in the span of 3 weeks. Boy, goodbye, honey. So she said, yeah, I'm not ready to love. I am ready to love, just not with you, right? So he's like, even as I'm sitting here, I'm just not sitting here in surety at all. Well, you can't keep changing your mind, Tommy Strom. Honey, it's fine, okay? It's time to say goodbye. You better hope Kyra don't choose Jason and his kisses because you're the only shot at love, and that's the only other shot at love you had, and honey, she about to take flight. So, if you're not sure, then there's nothing else that can be done because you've already told Kyra that her and her wig could stay. So Alexis said, the experience taught me that I needed to seek God, right? And that if she sought God, then all things would be given to her. Baby, but then, just when I thought, okay, Alexis, she put a little zhuzh on it and said that God told her that everything would be given to her. But then, honey, she said in her pastoral voice that she is not ready to receive what she is requesting. Once she starts to love herself and truly love herself, then God will release the man that he has for her. And baby, it was at that moment that I changed her name from Alexis Dragonfly Jones to simply Alexis. Good luck, Alexis, child, honey. God has a man out there for you that you won't have to split the check with, and he won't need to hold something until the first. Okay, so let me tell you something. You dodged a bullet. Good luck and Godspeed, honey, and get you a good wig for the reunion. As she is walking away, AJ up there acting like yet again he's about to tear up. I'm like, boy, your eyes water more than a little bit, honey. You always acting like you about to cry over something. Cut it out. So the ladies have been demoted back to the restaurant that is now their lounge once again. I guess Tommy was like, honey, we can't have these people in and out the house, child. COVID's going on and they hanging out and whatnot and kissing each other. So we're going to have to take them back to the restaurant. The restaurant it is. So then the ghost from Christmas past walks in, right? AKA Kyra. And Liz says, Kyra's here? I'm confused. Honey, AJ was too. That's why she's still here. So then nephew Tommy shows up, right? He said they were missing a big presence. Well, Alexis did fill up the room. I ain't gonna lie. Okay, so, but they made up for it though. The show went on without Fly. I'm sorry. Her name is no longer Fly. Okay. It went on without Alexis. But child, let's keep going. So he said, listen, this is your last one-on-one date, and he wants them to have an intimate date and do some kissing. You too late for the kissing part, honey. Amber ahead of the game. Amber been kissing, and Liz been kissing. And as Jason said, him and Kyra been kissing. So, the kisses, honey, you could have left that part out. So he wants to see if they can get past the idea of being in a relationship and actually seeing themselves being a couple, right? So Liz and Kyra have one last shot, child, to try to make sure that Jason or AJ chooses them, right? So he said, just listen to your heart, and one man has to go. Okay, now y'all hear that? Okay, so he said one man had to leave, but we'll soon see what happens, okay? So Kyra tells the ladies that she had a conversation with AJ, right, about her like yo-yoing, and he respected that, and he changed his mind about her going home, and that's why she's still here, right? So my thing when she was saying this, I'm like, Kyra really thinks she is running things. They really blew her head up when every man in the room chose Kyra. That one episode got her thinking she's something that she's not, honey. So she said, look, I have some unfinished business with Jason. She said, obviously Jason chose Liz, and obviously Jason chose Liz in order for AJ to have a choice to send me home, because that's not how it was presented to me at the ranch. Earth to Kyra, honey, you don't get to play elf on a shelf with Jason and not make a decision, and he has to leave his connection with Liz in hopes that you may choose him. Girl, you are full of it. Child, if you wanted to choose Jason, you would have said, I chose Jason. But see, what you did was you thought that whatever it is, whatever pretty that they call you, you thought that was enough for the two men to fight to the death at the end, and you choose one. But that's not how things shook out. Girl, goodbye. So she said, my connection with Jason was strong, and it just doesn't go away overnight. So Liz said, look, in her confessional, don't act like I'm second choice. He had 2 top connections, and he picked me. Tell her, Saint, honey, tell her. I know that's right, child. So they said, well, Liz, how do you feel about that? She said, look, I feel our connection is solid. So we will just see what happens. Honey, Liz said, I'm going to stick beside him. May the best parishioner win. Honey, I know that's right, because this is my thing. I know a lot of people are saying, well, Liz, Jason was Liz's number 2. No. Okay. Liz had a connection strong with both David and Jason. There was a choice to be made. Same as Jason. There was a connection with both Liz and Kyra. There was a choice to be made. And when nephew Tommy asked Jason at the ranch who he would go home with, without a doubt, he said Liz. Now, I gave him a hard time because I was thinking, child, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Okay, I don't want to get ahead of myself. But the bottom line is he chose Liz, and he said what he said, and he ain't changing it. Okay. So Joelle goes to visit Vernicia in the next scene over at her house, right? So he rings the doorbell. She didn't even go get the door. Here she go. Come on in, Joelle. Vernicia. Baby, country. Honey, he comfortable at that house trying to come up like he ain't never been there before. Boy, come on in and put your shoes at the door, honey. So she had him a glass of wine, some good old soul food. You know, they both talked about how things went on the ranch and they feel better now. You know, like things are going back on the right track and they're going down the right road, right? So then Joelle said, I heard you chose me. Is that true? Who you hear that from, Joelle? From who? Child, you ain't hear nothing. You just doing a temperature check. Child, she was like, yeah, I never not chose you. Girl, he knows that. He just wanted to hear you say it. Child, I wanted somebody to stroke his ego real quick. So she said, you chose me afterwards? He said, afterwards? Yeah, I chose you. He said, you never was not number one. Yeah, okay, until she was number two. Boy, hush. So she said she's feeling like, things were meant to be, and anything negative, it doesn't matter because she knew where his heart was the whole time. Well, girl, not the way you were hollering at him in that kitchen. Was I present? Were y'all present when she was hollering at him in that kitchen? Because, child, baby, she showed and act like she knew where his heart was when she was doing all that yelling standing over that stove, child. So he said, so what's next? She said, what you mean? And child, he was sitting back on that couch, y'all, and he was opening and closing. You know how men do that little thing with their legs where they like open them and close them and open them and close them? Child, he meant what's for dessert. You on a platter. Child, you about to take that sweater dress off or what? You heard me? That's what he meant. I don't know if it's just me, but listen to me. Let me tell y'all something. I don't know about y'all, but in my experience, when a man come over and they get to sitting there swinging them legs, honey, they ready to get it popping. Child, that's the signal to let's go do what we got to do. I'm just saying, but he cleaned it up and he was like, for us, what's next for us? So she said, yeah, I would like to continue and see where it goes. And, she was like, I really want to see what's going to happen. And he said, yeah, she the one I want to try it with, honey. I want to do everything with her. You heard me? Okay, Joelle, moving forward. So Liz and Jason go out, right? And when I seen them walking up, I said, you know what? They actually look real good together. They growing on me. I know that Liz has a little bit of a maturity about her over Jason, but she's starting to change her style a little bit. She's straightening out her hair, and although she does carry herself much more mature, it actually makes Jason seem more mature than he was when the season first started. So I actually like them, honey, and we can agree to disagree down in the comments. So Jason said, he's so happy he can focus on one woman. Honey, that's what you think, child, because Kyra ain't about to let this go, okay? So Kyra was like, yeah, I need to talk to you, buddy. He thinking he could choose one woman, honey, but Kyra says she still has some words for him. So as they're sitting down, he tells Liz how happy he is that he chose her, as you should be, okay? And he said, she has always kept it real, and she's fine, loyal, all of that, okay? So they're sitting there and they're talking, and he's pouring into Liz, which I loved, and I was like, okay, that's a good sign. So Liz says being on a date with him feels like being in a dream, right? But Kyra threw her off, acting like their connection wasn't real. This is what she said in the confessional. First of all, Liz, honey, don't let Kyra and her confusion derail you. Obviously, he chose you. No matter how he chose you, he still chose you, okay? She wants to cause strife, honey. Her ego is bruised because she didn't expect for Jason to actually say, okay, I choose Liz. She thought that he was going to choose her and AJ was going to choose her, and then you or Alexis were going to be going home, but it didn't work out like that, okay? Child, let AJ and his negative balance handle that, child. Don't worry about her. So Liz said, look, I'm about to throw you a curveball, okay? Jason said, I've been getting those a lot. Child, Liz was looking at him like, I'm not playing, and I'm not laughing. Ooh. Child, she was like, you ready? He said, yeah. She said, okay. What if Kyra would have chosen you? He said, we would still be here. I knew it. Listen, I didn't know for a fact that he would have chosen Liz because I had some reservations as well. But something about that forehead kiss that he gave to Kyra last episode, that spoke volumes to me. I was like, you know what? It's something about that forehead kiss I just didn't trust. It was like he was friend zoning her because something about it just didn't come out right. So he said, I already made up my mind weeks ago. Well, honey, let me tell you something. I want you to keep that same energy when Kyra asks you about this a little later, okay? When y'all have that little talk, I want you to keep that same energy. So he said, he just needed to hear it. He's like, look, we went on enough dates to know exactly who we wanted, and she just came across disingenuous. And I have to agree because it really came across like game playing. These are people's actual feelings. And I don't think that Kyra was really here to find love. I think she was just here to see who was going to pick her and what she was going to do on a Wednesday night. Girl, goodbye. So he said, hold on, let me get you something right quick. So he leaves, right, and comes back with these white roses. Child, Liz up here screaming like she had just gotten a publisher's clearinghouse check. I was like, girl, what? Baby, listen. I know he came back with the roses of it all, but I mean, what is happening? So he said, look, I have only given roses to 2 women in my life, white roses. He said his mom and his stepmom, right? He said, I'm going to, give you these because you have kept it pure. Your heart is pure. Your intentions are pure. I'm like, oh, child. And he getting into it as he get into it. He's like, you're honest. You're pure-hearted. He said, you are worth it. You are worth my time, and you are worth the pursuit. Baby, let me tell y'all something, honey. I don't care if it was game. I don't care if he was zhuzhing it up. I don't care what was happening, honey. Somebody give me some white roses, child. Baby, look, I almost let those little teeth kiss me. I'm like, Jason, call me, honey. He said, and I would really be honored if you would accept these roses. Will you accept these? Baby, Liz teared up. And if I don't get a speech with some flowers next time, honey, I don't want it. Child, you can just keep it. And listen, Jason, I was wrong about you, honey. I can admit it. Now, if I'm wrong about a person, I'm going to get on this review and I'm going to apologize to you. So, Jason, I'm speaking directly to you, honey. Everything we've said about you, child, it was all in jest, honey, all in fun. But you really did show a different side of you this episode. And I really do like the way that you and Liz are together. But I do want to say this to you. Please stop wearing that tennis bracelet. Okay, I had to get one in before I left, honey. You got the tennis bracelet on with the matching necklace and whatnot and tennis bracelet. Child, okay, I just can't. But let that tennis bracelet go. So, Jason said, seeing those tears let him know that it's real. That him and Liz, honey, what they got is real. So Liz got up and gave him a kiss, child. Keep this up, Jason, honey. Liz gonna be walking around with some little Jasons in a minute. Kyra, you and your swimsuits ain't gonna make a difference, child. Liz said, I prayed for someone to actually see my heart, and Jason saw it. Oh, child, I love it. Moving on to Amber and KG. Child, okay. So Amber and KG congregate together, right? And they brought me back to reality. Her in her Studio 54 dress and KG in his Hawaii 5-0 shirt. They sit down and they get to talking, right? So they talk and KG said, look, what's up with you and Ron? And I'm glad he, tried to get to the bottom of it because I don't trust Amber. So I feel like this needed to be done. She said, I cut him off. There was no connection. She said, I don't have any 2s or 3s. And he said, neither do I. Of course you don't, honey. Did you ever? Child, stay focused. So Amber starts capping, saying that after the Ron thing, she needed to reassure him that Amber was at his heart. Girl, goodbye. I ain't buying it. So KG said, you really made me feel so comfortable and so secure. And, he started tearing up as well. I'm like, baby, child, the tears are real. And KG, I hope you find your number one boo, honey, because the DA is DOA in my book, honey. Dead on arrival. I don't trust nothing about Amber. I don't feel like she's being genuine. I don't feel like what she's saying is real. I feel like she just wants to make it to the end. At first, I thought the two of you had some type of chemistry and, the both of you were different. So your differences made you compatible. But now I just feel like Amber's shady and I feel like you're a really good guy. You're a little bit confused, honey, because we're going to get into that. But I do feel like you're a good guy nonetheless. So then KG said, look, I'm ready to have a baby right now. How many you want? Did I ever ask you that? She said, I like kids and I'd be happy with one, but I want to be married first. Skirt. Girl, hold them up, swallow them up. Girl, what? You want to be married first? Listen to me, Amber. You said when that ex was sitting there batting his eyelashes that you would be cool with 5 kids. Then you said you don't have to be married. You said I'd rather be a mother over a wife. Honey, did you forget? Now you sitting here talking about that you want to be married first and you only want 1 kid. So KG said, look, we don't have to be married because I'm not even having sex right now. She said, ever in life? He said, once I get married. She said, what? Say what now? Yeah, that's what you get for just going along to get along. Sometimes you need to ask questions. You just sitting up here agreeing to everything. Child been assigned your life and your vaginal walls away. Girl, goodbye, honey. So he said, once I get married. She said, I can't even convince you a little bit. Honey, y'all need to go home and reevaluate some things because he said marriage was not the end goal, okay? Now it's no marriage, no sex, okay? And it's no sex, no kids. No sex, but he wants 5 kids. Honey, somebody get Naya on the line for me. I owe her an apology as well. Chalk, KG baby, what is you doing? And yes, I said it the correct way. What is you doing? I am so confused. So he said, he's practicing semen retention. Yeah, I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing for that. He said he's protecting his sexual energy because that's the most important energy. And he was just giving it away all willy-nilly, and these heifers didn't deserve it. And let me tell you something. Soul ties are definitely real. And with Amber, ain't no telling what little demon's gonna get entangled. So I don't blame you, honey. I don't blame you for retaining your semen or what have you, child. I've heard of water retention, and you get some water pills, honey, when it's that time of the month. But semen retention, that's a new one on me. So Amber said, I know damn well I didn't find a connection and can't get no loving. Oh my God. Well, you did, honey. You and your faux locks will not be getting rubbed up on tonight, okay? So she said, I'm going to bring it out of you. He said, well, that's going to be millions, okay? Because I'm backed up. That's going to be a lot of sperm. Child, that's going to last 2.2 seconds. Child, anyway, she going to call Ron in the car on the way home. He going to be like, hello, is this Cassandra? No, it's Amber. You better call Ron, honey. You better call Ron. He said he looks at her all the time. He always looking at her butt, right? So she was like, you ready now? No, he's not ready. Ain't ready at all, child. He ain't hitting on nothing. Kyra walks in for her date with AJ looking uninterested, okay? Because all she can think about is Jason. So he said he wants to see what she wants, right? Absolutely nothing. So she said, she wants to move forward and she wants to know where he stands. And he said, if you have to ask that now, then let me send you home now. And, they have a little chuckle about it. But quite frankly, she wished she was at home because now Jason is over there with Liz, okay? So he said, I've always admired her from afar, and I just really don't want to take this L. I want to take my opportunity. Well, it's looking like you're taking an L in secret, okay? You don't know, but you actually are, okay, buddy? So she said, well, do you feel like you made the right decision? Honey, she trying to get him to say no so bad. Girl. He chose you. He said what he said, and he ain't changing it, child. So he said sometimes it's how you would feel if you didn't make the choice. Child, the whole while he's talking, honey, she's talking about, yeah, I still have reservations for Jason. This is her in the confessional. Now, AJ over there pouring his heart out, and she's telling me, yeah, I still have some reservations for Jason. Well, honey, listen, Jason done made reservations at a restaurant for him and Liz, and he reserved those white roses at the florist and recited that speech. Honey, he is speaking his speech of love over there with Liz. Honey, you ought to just move on, honey. Just move on. You out of luck. Take your reservations somewhere else because it looks like they're booked. So she said, I just need to talk to Jason to get some clarity. Girl, it's clear, honey. You're the only one not clear. It's clear. He's over there with Liz. So the ladies go to the restaurant/lounge, right? And Tommy asks them about their dates. And this is where it's finna get good, okay, y'all? So Amber talks about their date and how how he cried and all of this because he felt so touched by her words, right? So, of course, Tommy made a little joke about, I think Tommy loves KG's voice more than any woman or anybody listening out there in radio land, honey. Because every time I turn around, Tommy is saying something about KG and his deep voice. Okay, child, we got it. So Amber said, but he did disclose that he was doing semen retention. This is my thing. This is why I said you can't be trusted. Why would you tell everyone that? That is not their business. If you and him are to enter into a relationship, some things are better kept to yourself. They didn't need to know that. Girl, you cannot be trusted. So Tommy said, well, how do you retent? Oh, my goodness. Honey, it's the idiocracy for me. So she said, basically, it's just celibacy. So Vernicia said, well, I'm going to pray for you, honey. And she was thinking to herself, because, honey, Mr. Magnolia be putting it down. He put it down. I'm going to fall in love. I know that's right, honey. Shout out to Brandy. So Liz was like, well, I'm on cloud 9. Jason actually said he made his decision weeks ago. So as she was talking, Kyra busted out laughing, right? This is my thing, honey. I'm sorry you can't fathom that a man didn't choose you after all that ill-fitting bathing suit top you were wearing, honey, but he likes Liz. I know it's a blow to the ego, but at the same time, he chose Liz. Girl, so Liz said when Kyra laughed, it was disrespectful. Honey, it couldn't have been me. But child, that just goes to show you exactly who Kyra is on the inside. because I just could not be sitting there listening to her and seeing her laugh in my face. Child, that would not work for me. So she said, Jason gave me a single white rose and he's only giving the rose to 2 other women. As she's talking, Kyra's face is cracking. Honey, I was like, look at Kyra. Child, just call her Humpty Dumpty. Kyra sat on a wall. Kyra had a great fall. All the king horses and all the king's men couldn't put Kyra's face together again. Child, somebody get some Gorilla Glue so we can glue her face and her wig back together, honey. Because baby Liz is upsetting the girls. Do y'all hear me? Honey, Liz is upsetting her. So Kyra said, listen, no shade to Liz, but it's just comical. I'm trying to figure out what was so funny about it. That was my thing. What is so funny? So Kyra said, look, I wasn't going to laugh. I wasn't laughing to be, disrespectful, but I just felt like Jason was playing in my face, basically. He's playing a game. And she said, if the decision was made so long ago, then my decision would not have impacted him. And why didn't he talk to me about celibacy? This is the thing, girl. He doesn't have to talk to you about something you're not practicing. Why would he sit up and talk to you about celibacy? Because that doesn't pertain to you. You're not celibate. So why would he talk to you about that? So Liz said, look, he told me he needed to hear from Kyra herself where she stood because he felt like she was disingenuous. And Kyra said, listen, the bottom line is her other option is gone. So he was trying to press me for answers and he wants me to make a decision, and that makes her feel like he will mishandle her in real life. Girl, shut up. Okay? Girl, gone, honey, you're childish. Just take this L, hold it. Honey, he gave you a chance, and by not choosing, you chose. Okay? He gave you an ample opportunity to say what it was, and you said nothing. So therefore, and thus and such, you with AJ all the way up and through. Girl, so go ahead over there and get some oils and stuff and start moisturizing that beard, honey. Girl, goodbye. So Tommy said, well, you deserve answers. No, she does not. He chose Liz. When you asked, he chose Liz. So what answers is she entitled to? This is a dating show. Now, who's entitled to answers would probably be Alexis, because she was done wrong by not 1, but 2 men. AJ pulled a stunt. Decided he was going to keep her. She felt safe and secure. She was in the house. She, inside the ranch, honey, she had changed clothes, got ready to go night, called out into the wee hours of the night because him and Kyra out there looking at stars that don't exist and holding hands. Then Ron, who she thought could be something, ends up saying, look, me and Amber, we kissed and I changed my mind about you a long time ago. So that's who deserves answers, and I hope she gets them. So then she says, look, I'm just going to be rocking with AJ. Yeah, sure you are. You just want Jason to want you. You can't stand that he wants Liz. Girl, your true colors are shining through. I see your true colors shining through. Girl, goodbye. So Kyra says, so Vernicia was like, so how's everybody feeling? Vernicia, now's not the time, honey. Everybody ain't feeling good. So Kyra said, I have a little bit of an attitude because I feel like Jason was not fair towards me. Okay. I'm so exhausted because I'm not understanding, honey. How sway? Y'all were on equal playing field. On an equal playing field. Then you decided that you were not going to choose. So Jason said, since I have 2 people that I'm interested in, I'm going to make not my decision based on your non-decision. And he chose Liz, who he was as equally interested in. She was not below you. I know you think so, but she wasn't. He was equally interested in her as well. So Amber said, well, do you feel like you chose AJ because he chose Liz? She said, no, I chose AJ because people said I was playing a game, but I feel like Jason was playing a game. Girl, you didn't even answer the question. Did you choose AJ because Jason chose Liz? The answer is yes. Okay? You were playing a game and you still are playing a game. So, child, I don't have no time for that. So Liz was like, I'm offended because Jason has always been upfront with me. Now, this is one thing I can say about Jason. When Alexis asked him, do you see anything with me? I know you've coached my son in basketball. How do you feel about being with a mom and all this? He told her straight up, it's a no. He told her exactly how he felt. He's been forthcoming with all of his, all of his feelings. So I don't feel like he is doing anything shady. Child, Kyra just butthurt. That's the bottom line. It's as simple as I can put it, okay? So, Liz remained classy, honey, because I would have chosen violence, as I stated earlier. Moving forward. So, Jason goes to meet Kyra, right? Now, child, this is what we didn't need. So Jason goes to meet Kyra. Jason said, I don't really know why I'm here because I'm not going to renege on nothing. I'm not changing my mind. And she's like, in her confessional, yeah, my disappointment in Jason is turning into anger. Girl, get lost, honey. You chose wrong. My mama always says, honey, you think long, you think wrong. You chose wrong, and now you're upset about your decision. Girl, I don't know how many times I got to tell you that. You're starting to get on my nerves. So she said, Liz said you made up your mind weeks ago. So then he starts backsliding, saying, well, I said so much, queen. I can't say yay or nay. Boy. Honey, now see, I'm just going to be a nun. Child, I'm just going to be a nun. Because, this is just showing me right here, honey. Oh, my goodness. But anyway, he said, I said so much, I just can't call it. Boy, you better figure it out, and you better figure it out quick. But he was like, well, as far as me saying I chose weeks ago, that wasn't the truth. So that's on me. My bad. Child, he was like, but for you at the tennis court, I just needed some clarity. Still to this day, I don't know. Now, Jason, I don't respect the fact that you gave her something to hold over Liz's head. Because the next time they gather together or even at the reunion, they're going to roll this back and Liz is going to hear you say that you lied when you said you chose her weeks ago or your mind was made up weeks ago. That ain't cool. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. Child, anyway, Kyra doesn't communicate well at all. So he said the last few dates were him on the witness stand. Every time they got together, it felt like she was just asking question after question after question, trying to get an answer. And he said, like, what is it that you want? We don't care what she wants. We don't give a damn, honey. Why are you asking her what she wants? The choice has been made. Jason, if you choose Kyra because she says in this moment she wants to choose you, honey, I'm going to pluck them little teeth out one by one. See, this is what we not finna do. Child, I'm not finna play with you. So she started saying something. He said, see, this is not what we gonna do, honey. See, this what we not finna do. Hey, see, this what we not finna do. Honey, he said, we not finna do that right now. Okay, so whatever it is that you're talking about, trying to cause confusion and get me to go back on my answer, no, we're not about to do that. So she was like, listen, do you think if I related to you then the outcome would have been different? Stop trying to get this man to say he should have chosen you because he's not going to say anything different. He said, no, I'm convinced and, I'm confident in my choice in Liz. Honey, I know it's hard to see church lady Liz win, but that's just what happens. So then she says, well, my decision is I want to stay friends. Okay, girl, he already had made a decision. So how you going to decide to stay friends with a man who was already decided that he wanted to be with somebody else because you were undecided? Girl, okay, goodbye, honey. Okay, cool, child. You were trying to convince him to change his mind on the slick, but he wasn't weak or easily influenced as AJ was. And it was touch and go there for a minute, but he came back around, child. Oh, my goodness. So she said, the whole time I was thinking that AJ wasn't going to treat me right and I should have been questioning Jason. No, Jason was the same guy from the very start. You chose AJ, okay? Now put all your cards together and y'all go to happy hour, child. And AJ needs to feel some kind of way about this because, baby, she is hurt that Jason is with Liz. I mean hurt, okay? At the final dinner, Kyra said, listen, when I saw Liz and Jason together, I was so bothered by it. Well, girl, get over it, honey. We could tell you were bothered by it because you were watching them the whole time. Do you know what AJ had on at the final dinner? Oh, okay, I didn't think so. She said, however... Child, not however. She said, I'm wholeheartedly focused on AJ. Girl, you have no choice, okay? She said she likes him but doesn't know if she can commit. And this is, child, this is the person that should have heard you are not ready to love because Kyra is definitely not ready. AJ and Kyra act and look like they belong together, okay? Because he did the same thing to Alexis. And quiet as it's kept, y'all actually look nice together, you and AJ. You fit better than you and Jason. So just go ahead with it, y'all. So then Tommy comes out and says that the relationship isn't real until you meet each other's families. Liz and Jason are over there talking about it, right? And Kyra was watching every syllable out of Jason's mouth. I'm like, now this is getting real stalkerish and real Fatal Attraction like, okay? So then she turns and says to AJ, well, if my mama don't like you, then I'm going to have to say no. Honey, that's just an excuse for you not to choose AJ. And y'all know she going to get in that car and call her mama. Hello? Hey, mom, what you doing? Oh, nothing, honey. How's it going? Okay. Hey, mama. Hey. Can you make sure that you don't like AJ when I bring him over there next week, honey? Because I'm going to need to get the hell out of Dodge. And that was the end of the episode. Child, this was a mess. Let me tell you something. I was surprised at Jason. I was proud of Jason. I was surprised at Kyra, but not really surprised because I knew she had pretty girl syndrome, okay? Or somebody's standard of beauty syndrome, okay? I'm surprised that Liz didn't come out of her, character, because I know I would have. And child, I want to hear how y'all feel about Alexis, because now I have a new found respect for Alexis. She handled her exit very gracefully and poised, honey, with her shoulders back. And I loved every minute of it, honey. This episode was good to me. This is exactly what I needed. Now on to Love After Lockup. Child, please do not hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. As always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.